Oh, has my webcam frozen? That looks better. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Sunless Sea. Heading back into the waves with Captain Pip again. Last time we began to set sail as we aged out of our urchin street gang and found our own ship. Took with us another gunner that aged out as well, and decided to strike out on our own, finding adventure among the seas and seeking immortality as our primary ambition. Last time we also found a few local islands that were nearby, many of which didn't have a ton going on them. However, we did find a war between guinea pigs and rats. We sided with the rats. We may have drawn attention of some sort of strange sea god. We have firsthand seen the rodent war. We went to a savage pirate den on a stalagmite. It was a very exciting first journey. We made contact with the Three Sisters of Hunter's Keep, but today I have decided that we need a new bearing. We need a direction, and I think our direction is to strike out far and see what we can accomplish out there. Trying to get as much money as we possibly can in order to get a new ship. It looks as though the webcam has crashed. Give me one moment as I try to fix the webcam. I apologize. For some reason it seems as though the computer does not want to recognize the webcam. But I think we have it now. Hopefully this stays good. I don't know what happened that caused that. Anyway, hopefully my mic was still good at the time. But yes, we are going to strike out. We're going to try to find adventure. We're going to try to find something worth a good deal, so that we can pursue our ambition with a better vessel, as I think our dinky little boat isn't going to cut it in the long run. So, taking a look at our map, on the Crab Cake, Pigmote Isle was where the bizarre rodent war began. 15 barrels of fuel, 7 crates of supplies. Let's get going. Sailing out there. Ah, yes, we also picked up the Cladry Air, a surgeon, a doctor aboard our vessel, which can be likely very helpful. I think one of the folks that was here last time was saying this was a old DLC character or a Kickstarter or something like that that ended up getting added to everyone, which I thought was an interesting idea. Creeping tendrils of fungus, seaweed, and unnameable flora, we have entered the Snare, Shepherd's Wash, the salty hinterland of London, home to hermits, nuns, and shadowy business. It's feeling as though the Untersee is getting darker. I imagine that is something that too consistent, deeper and deeper. our scouting bat. Found Station 3, some distance to the northeast. Yeah, the Z does seem to be, in fact, Sunless. I feel like we had something to do at Station 3. Don't remember what it was. To check our journal. Let's dock all the same. Station 3, Depot A. Oh, there's another big crab over there. We may infer a Station 1 and a Station 2. We may conjecture a Station 4. Station 3. Machinery hums behind steel walls. Up the hill there are visible outlines of warehouses and a building with a spire, but the lamps are low where they burn at all, or ship the only one harbor. I think let's train our telescope on the shore, see what we can see from a distance. This seems concerning. A church or something else? You stand on the high point of your ship and look to shore. There is a steepled building on the horizon, by far the largest thing in sight. No cross marks the top of it, nor any symbol you recognize. But that is our port report. We could search for signs of other survivors, though we have a very low chance of doing that as our mirror's stat is not particularly high. But I suppose I don't see any compelling reason not to try the gate. Sure, this place looks a little ominous, but why don't we just knock? Side beside it reads, delivery. No way in. The metal is steel hard and icy cold to the touch. Attempts with chisels and crowbars fail. Perhaps if you could bring the ship's guns to bear, but no. If you return with a certain delivery, the gate will be open. You'll know if you find it. Ooh, that's ominous. Let's take a look at our journal real quick and see what we have available. Objectives. Liberating the secret of immortality. Retrieving strategic information from the Iron and Misery Company funging station. Somewhere not far from home waters, particularly helpful. And we need to take the Tomb Colonist of Venderbite, which I believe I recall they said was to it. I'm not incredibly positive about that. We have that big carcass that we're dragging behind us that's bound for Kyo. That we found that man on the beach for betrayed that scholar that has very likely sworn vengeance on us. But other than that, we still find ourselves in the middle of nowhere. This didn't give us anything of value. We have fed the crew. They are hungry. I need to figure out a way to better manage my supplies. I wonder if that's modified by your stats. Sometimes helps with lists around terror. Increases the speed at which you uncover fragments or secrets. Firing slip. There's nothing that seems to modify how fast you There's another red line. Fascinating. Don't know what that denotes. There are no islands. Maybe that's range. I still don't have a good grasp on what the range of the bat is, though. That doesn't mean a ton to me. Sluggish way of the ship pitches. Oh, a bat swarm is an enemy that we must fire upon. Train the cannons on those bats. Those bats are so much more dangerous than a crab. Oh my. A bat swarm defeated. Little leathery corpses lie scattered around your deck. The rest of the swarm vanishes into the neathy dark. Gather up the corpses. They're succulent with stolen blood. Into the pot. Or dispose of the corpses. Their mere touch leaves you shuddering. No, we got plenty of Z-bats to eat. Let's eat those. An unorthodox diet. The little bones are troublesome, and the flesh a little gamey, but salt them well enough, and they're quite edible. And we got a supply out of all of those bats. They did about 10 damage to our hull, which is... Our ship's looking a little battered right now. Isn't great, I believe. Let's throw our... I think this is how you get COVID. I agree. We're renaming the ship the Ozzy Osbourne. He was the guy who bit the bat on stage, right? Who ate the live bat? That Marilyn Manson. We hear those voices that will not be drowned. This is the sea of voices. We are close to Polythreme, where nothing's truly dead. The air trembles, a breath of change passes. We have entered a fog bank. Our gunners struggle to see our foes. Unfinished pirates. Something underwater some distance to the northeast. We don't have a submarine yet, so we have no way to actually interact with anything that's underwater at the moment. Oh. The island of Aeshaven. Certainly stumble across there. We have gained a secret. Speak to your officers to increase your ability. Discovered Godfall. Sometimes, just occasionally, bits of the roof fall off. Be glad you weren't here when this one did. Godfall. The brawling, bearded men who live here call themselves monks. They pay lip service to Saint Stalactite, which fell from the roof. But their chief interests seem to be wine, blood, and shouting. For spooky music, spooky atmosphere of the ship I'm investigating. I really do like the music. It's very suitably ominous. It knows when to come in and out, I think, in an interesting way. I like it quite a bit. Speak with the monks about their newest member. They escort you to his cell. Used to be a sailor, one of them whispers. We were hoping you could help us work out what's wrong. The supplicant. An old, bearded man sits cross-legged and naked in Godfall's smallest monastic cell. At the sight of the group, he flinches. His wrinkled skin is covered in faded scars. "No more freedom," he whispers. 10 of the clock we sweep. 15 past 10 of the clock we wash. There are orders. There must be orders. No more freedom. Please. A monk hands him a mop and bids him clean the entire chapel by first bell. The supplicant squeezes it tight. "Yes, master." He whispers, tears of gratitude welling up in his eyes as he scampers off. There is an awkward silence. "You should make a very devout monk," one of the others ventures, once we finally get him into the habit. I don't think that guy's okay. Let them tell you about past and present events in the monastery. They are eager to talk about their history. The stalactite, they assure you, was one of the citadels of the starved men who dwell in the roof. When it fell, a few of its occupants survived to become the monks' progenitors. How does that work, you wonder, with their vow of celibacy? They become vague, and are suddenly eager to speak of details of passing shipping. Concerning. And I don't think there's anything else for us to do here. So, they don't have any shops. They have a shipyard. They are monks of a stalactite in the middle of the Untersee. The Antonine Abyss. I wonder if that's the thing that the bat found, where I can go undersea. I had a submarine. Abyss sounds like something you'd be able to dive into. The bat continues to be unable to find any of value. Oh, a boat. I hope you're not a pirate. Every other boat I've run into has been a pirate. They're not immediately attacking us. Cool. Okay, there's a few more of them. There's a bit of a fleet here. Melancholia, tramp steamer, Faustic corsair. Ooh. Oh my god. All clear. Oh, I hit battle. That explains why that's going. You are far from land. Please Z back. Frost found vast and chilly. A fortress sieged by questions, answers. This is really cool. Sparkling. Quite large compared to most of the other islands we stopped at. I think let's drop in. Maybe we can get our ship repaired here. Getting down to a little over half of our established goal. Frost found. Towers and ramps and galleries and stairs of ice, raised and spun like an architect's honey dream. No spider ever wove so complex a web. The towers are utterly pristine, untouched by human life. But a pitiable encampment squats by the dock. We can take tea with the squatters at the dock, or we can ask them about the castle. Can't be too afraid. We shouldn't enter Frostfound without good reason. Well, first of all, I think let's take a port because we don't have one of those for here yet. Bickering amiably, what are the squatters up to? Not all are Iremi or White Withern. There's the odd researcher, the occasional deranged ice sculptor, now and then a very cold, very sad, rubbery man. But for the most part, an atmosphere of friendly rivalry. I think let's take some tea with the squatters at the dock. I want to learn a little bit more about all of the people that are camped out here. A surprisingly warm welcome. We're keeping the steps for the Game of Truths, a helpful riddle fisher explains as she fills your cup for the third time. Every year, the people of Irem and Wither meet here for... She pauses. Contests, she finishes vaguely. The difference between a question and a riddle. One day, someone will prove themselves enough to enter the castle. You spend a pleasant few hours while the tea is supplemented with Iremi liqueurs, pale Withern beer, and something the riddle fisher describes blandly as snake cake. They offer you fuel and supplies before you leave. We keep enough to spare, the riddle fisher grins. From time to time, a captain gets lost and comes here, and we always feel bad for them. We lost 10 tear, we gained a fuel, gained a supplies. These people are all very friendly. They don't have any money, it would appear. So commerce is not doing anything here, but keeping us moving. Yeah, I'm very concerned about what snake cake is as well. What kind of snake? How did you turn that into a cake? Is it sort of like a crab cake, or are we talking more pastry? It's concerning. And I don't trust her description of it. Something I'm also curious about is what happens when we hit this wall up here. Is the world flat? Or is the Untersee flat? Crab cake adjacent. Snake shaped or made of snake? I have to assume it's made of snake. Crab cake adjacent, yeah. That does seem like it would make the most sense to me. Zens? I do like the little, that they mark the little buoy lamps side. Ooh, okay. Time for some narrow sailing. Green glass and basalt. Salt and silence. Oh, we've reached the edge of the world. Thing happens. Bye. The place that is no place. The Untersee has no northern shore. Space is forbidden. Time contracts to a single frozen instant. There is only one way north. The High Gate. You huff and fumble your way through darkness. The stokers labor below, as in an old, sick dream. Fuel evaporates. Sailors stiffen to statues. Safety? This is not a good place to be, but at least it is a place. Frostfound, the castle where riddles fight questions to the death. For a while there, you were somewhere beyond places. Perhaps survived. You've lost 4 crew. You've gained 50 terror. You have lost 6 supplies. You have lost 1 fuel. Gained 4 fragments. Have scars of the north. And are returning to port. Hey, that went about as bad as it could have. That's unfortunate. We have lost a crew member. Lose too many and your speed will be reduced. Lose them all and you too will die. You can always engage more in London and sometimes other ports. Let's ask them about the castle. Apparently we may have had something to do with it. If you can enter, you should not. We get enthusiasts here from time to time. Yes, you might be able to enter the castle before the appointed time. You might even find something of value there. But you'd be despoiling sacred ground, my friend. It will take your stories from you. It will take your essence, yourself. If you survive that, you'll likely anger the gods of the sea. Yes, they're real. Real as the corridors of the Frostfound are. Stay away, my friend. Away. That's all for now, and I've gained a tale of terror. This is a bad place to be. Less than half your crew remains. You may not move at full speed. Okay. We have no supplies. We're at half speed. Oh boy. Fellas. I think we might be, as they say, cooked. Our successor may be able to do a better job. What I have learned from this is do not sail off the edge of the map. It goes poorly. Now, I see in front of me a whirlpool. My crew's terror is reaching dangerous levels. You can lower it in certain ports and slow its rise by staying close to land and keeping your prow light on. Oh boy. Half rations, hushed voices, tired faces. Encourage them. This isn't the time for rousing speeches. Quiet word here and there will. It's a tough challenge. You have a 37% chance. Brighter eyes. Short rations for you, too. Lead by example. You succeed in a heart's challenge. You've gained terror. Oh, boy. Did I just sail into the whirlpool? End it all? No. Let's try to get home. Landlubber, would you feel the air prickle on your tiny stirs your hair? my... Yeah, half rations again. Downcast eye. Perhaps you shouldn't have made that joke about boiled bat. Sailors take their superstitions seriously. That explains why we got a little bit of terror for eating bats if they're superstitious. Memories of plenty. Hot porridge, creamy milk and honey, the smell of roast chicken, rubbery lumps, the way they cook them, the crisp flesh of newly unearthed Eden fungus. Oh, God. Distract myself. Or obsess. Let's try and distract ourselves. Yeah, the boat's agonizingly slow. I think losing half of our crew will do that. A busy day. You walk the ship, watching the crew addressing infractions and laziness. You are suitably distracted, and they know their captain is watching. I think I got lucky outcome. Liquids wash, salty enter. Even if I make it back and I only have like 11 echoes. I am so very broke. There are fewer rats around the ship lately. Perhaps it's because your hold is empty of supplies. Perhaps it's because your crew is turning to alternate sources of nutrition. You know, if they can find the food, they're welcome to it. You don't partake yourself, obviously. The officer class must maintain its dignity. You ignore the necklace of rat bones that the gap-toothed gunner now sports. Oh, we've lost 5 hunger, at least. Once again, keep eating rats. Oh boy. I think we should maybe start thinking about a new captain. Envisioning what we are going to become once we drown. Ooh. There's a dock. Not London. Field Haven. Hey. Maybe they have some food. Once again, I will distract them. I'm not going to read the ones that I have already read if it's repeated checks like that. Mouths to feed. Your crew groans with hunger. Oh, we don't have any supplies. Okay. Let's... Yep. Can't afford supplies. Shepherd Isles. Of course, the bearded watchman tells you, there are no actual shepherds on the Shepherd Isles. Sheep are mostly illegal here. No, indeed, it's just the name of the gentleman that found the islands. Greybeard, sitting in the village square, nods solemnly. No sheep, one says, but plenty of tales. Ask us anything. We'd have a picnic at the Standing Stones. Ask them about specific tales or anything. We'd compile a port report. I don't see why we wouldn't, I suppose. If we ever are capable of making it back to London. Bleak light of the false stars. Servers roiling like a porridge pot. Up with a roar of steam and a flash of fire. 3 widows screaming, tentacles! And then we saw His Highness. There is rather a lot of this material. You now have a port report for Shepherd's Island. Let's try a picnic at the Standing Stone, I suppose. Because we don't have any money, and maybe that will get us some food. Picnics usually have food. A peaceful afternoon, your sailors watch the fireflies shimmer, swap shanties, pass round the grog and shy stones at the more vampirically inclined Z-bats. Grasses nod in the breeze. Across the dark water, the lights of the Abbey Rock glow watchfully. That's all for now. Oh, yeah. This isn't going well. Place which is no place held you, crushed you. Carry the wound still. Yeah, I sure do. Unable to punish my crew there either. This is why you shouldn't give children command of naval vessels, is I think probably one of the big takeaways from this. A street urchin shouldn't have been made captain. That's probably where we went wrong in the first place. That looks like a cool little jellyfish. I wonder if I can eat it. I did nothing wrong in my management of the ship. I only sailed to the place that was no place and damned the entirety of my crew. And probably myself. I'm gonna blame it on the youths. The sailor has run mad. She roams the ship, cudgel in hand, smashing comrades to the deck. She cries, "He is angry! Oh, he is angry!" Shoot her dead. She has already killed one man. Talk her down. Or capture her alive. Oh, boy. It's not gonna work, I don't think, but I think I'm going to try to talk her down. Call her by name. Remind her who she is, where, why. Furious laughter. Oh, I had a name, but he's burnt it. Burnt like paper, like the tree on the hill. She lunges forward, bringing another victim to the deck before turning, sprinting to the foredeck and leaping overboard with a wild scream of joy. Arts 31 failed. You've lost 3 crew. New total. 1. And I've lost the attention of the gods. Oh, my tea kettle just started whistling and it scared the crap out of me because I thought it was something in-game increasing in intense volume. It fits what's going on, certainly. We are boiling over, in a manner of speaking. We have 1 crew member. We have no supplies. The Gillifleur's end. The Gillifleur? Is it a young jellyfish? A lesser subspecies? Do the dreams of jellyfish become real? In any case, now, it's a sad slick of goo dissolving into the Z. Scoop it up, perhaps you can eat it. Better yet, perhaps your sailors can. Oh, we got a supply in a barrel of former jellyfish. It will wait in the hold like a cup of dissolved moon. One day you will eat it, or perhaps it will eat you. Alright, my 1 remaining crewmate. Time to eat. We're not hungry anymore. Hooray. Me and that one guy. I guess I still have my doctor, my gunner, and my mushroom man. And my rat and ferret. Oh. Well, we did get a couple of port reports. Maybe we can sell those port reports if we make it back to London. Ooga Booga Hunga Love me some Alexis Kennedy. Welcome in. He was one of the writers on this, I think. He was the guy who left to do Weather Factor, I believe. I also like their whole thing. But welcome in. Thanks for dropping by. We are having a real rough time of it right now. Desperately trying to see whether or not we can survive and limp back to shore. You're low on fuel. I'm low on everything. Didn't leave, it's just another of his projects. Oh, okay. Butcher it for supplies. Pale and salty meat. The crew will feast. Yeah. Okay. We are heading... Oh, we're near the Hunter's Keep. That's where those sisters can't really get anything crew-wise from there. I will be very surprised if we manage to make it back to London. Book of Hours right now, like all of his games. I've beaten Book of Hours a couple of times. I love that. It's a real cozy thing. I actually quite like the Fallen London browser game. I'm a fan of it. The time gating can be a little bit rough here and there, but the narrative and all that stuff is fascinating. Oh, barn. That place I think that place has sunken underwater. Hard in the Book of Hours, finding so many new secrets. I love the little micro-fiction excerpts you get from fully reading a book in those. It's so fun having all the little tiny puzzle pieces and sticking all that together, cataloging books by dates and authors. Your hull is below half strength. Enemy attacks may now do additional damage to your tear. You're shooting me in London's harbor. That's illegal. Desperate measures. Without fuel, your ship is an oddly shaped house. Located somewhere you really don't want to live. Yeah, I spent a lot of time going through and examining and considering all of the furniture and the paintings and things like that, and there's just like unique flavor text for every little thing. It's really cool. For assistance. Why, Captain, out of fuel? For a reasonable price. We can help under the circumstances. I don't think we need your help. I think we're gonna be able to make it into port with one crew member, no money, no fuel, no supplies, and about a quarter of our hull. I made it back and immediately got arrested. An inspection by the Ministry of Public Decency. Oh no, I didn't get arrested, but I am being searched. Some things are too illegal for the Customs Service to admit the existence of. The Ministry are here looking for those. Nothing to hide. You shrug and invite them to search your ship as thoroughly as you would like, as they would like. They leave scuff marks on the newly scrubbed decks and take pleasure in tangling the rigging. They find nothing more dangerous than moldy ship's biscuit. A cab. Turning to London, the lights of London welcome you home. A breath of relief. As soon as the gangplank touches the quayside, the terrors of the deep sea lighten. Walk taller, smile more readily, but what dreams may cling. Terror is always reduced to 250 when you return to London if it was higher. However, if your terror was high, you may suffer nightmares later. Alright, let's see if the Harbor Master has given us any messages. Something has changed. Someone wants to sign on. That's all for now. We have quite a large amount of things there. Let's see what we can do in order to maybe try and fix our ship up. Do we have anything? Okay, we could sell. We got to offload everything that I can, I think. But we did make it back. Submitting vital intelligence. We don't have that, but we can submit our port reports. Hunter's Keep. I trust the sisters are keeping well. They are citizens of her enduring majesty, after all. Notionally. We got a fuel for that. We got some favors. Not much money, but that's fine. Godfall. Pirate monks. I honestly have no idea what we're supposed to do about pirate monks. What are they up to? Shepherd. Okay, so I can submit as fact the crazy stories that the old men on Shepherd Island gave me, or I can submit it as crazy stories. I am gonna take the chance. I think it'll be really funny if we succeed. You are met with skepticism. Candidly, I'm not sure why you saw fit to trouble us with this nonsense. Is there anything else? I didn't get paid for it, but I still got a fuel out of it. And that's worth it. Station 3. Excuse me, let me just call a colleague in. Omitted. This is my colleague, Mr. Villain, of the Ministry of Public Decency. Mr. Villain, this good captain's report is here. If you would care to... Yes, the fire is already lit. Let us... There we go. Now only ashes remain, and it might have caused such a lot of trouble. Thank you, Captain. We appreciate your discretion. Here is your payment. You need not trouble yourself further in this affair. I guess they really didn't want any info getting out about Station 3. Neat. They gave me 100 echoes for that and a fuel. I'll take it. I'm fine with that. Frost found. Is it as beautiful as they say? I doubt it. Poets are notorious liars. But liars make bad poets. A paradox, isn't it? Never mind. Your report? And 30 for that, and some fuel. Okay, we have a nice chunk of money now. We have a bit of fuel. We're doing okay all of the sudden. I am baffled that we managed to make it back. I do think we should ask for some assistance with subsistence. Asking if the Admiralty can provide a little fuel to cover your costs. That trades all the favors that we've been racking up, apparently, for fuel. Visit the Admiralty fuel stores. If you've done good work, the Admiralty will issue you with a book of little chitties. This will exchange 1 point of Admiralty for fuel. You can trade favors for repairs as well. That makes sense. And also, yeah, repairs and a little bit of money. I think the let's do the you raise a very good point, Uga. Thank you. Let's repair our very damaged hull first, then buy fuel with our favors. This is going to cost us 25 echoes and 3 favors. Rapid efficiency. All shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. Very quickly. Lost 24 echoes and 3 favors. Perfect. Beautiful. Our hull is now 75. Our ship is pristine. You love to see it. I'm going to try trading some Admiralty's favor for fuel. Success! The quartermaster is not usually friendly, but you have enough sailors' jokes and harbor gossip to set her laughing nostalgically. She is remarkably liberal about the measurement of fuel. 3 fuel, lucky persuasion check. Oh boy, okay. Good enough for now. Thank you, Admiralty. Olga. Sunless Sea, it is the only world in which exposure is worth it, because you can literally... Exposure probably is a kind of currency that you can redeem. Let's visit the Rose Market. We went here last time and there wasn't anything for us to do. Still isn't. Alright. Let's take a visit to the Clathermont Tattoo Parlor. We're a real sailor now, after all. You could go to one of those tobacco and prey places by the docks, but the prices at Clathermont's are reasonable and his daughters are real artists. But what sign will you choose? The Dauntless Hand to commemorate our daring. Increase our iron by 2 permanently and cure up to 25 points of terror. Unflinching Eye. This will increase our mirrors by 2. I want to increase my mirror. Our mirrors are quite bad. And I like seeing things. The gold needle pricks. Lily Clathermont hums. At the end of the process, the tattoo's gaze is so expressive, you almost expect it to blink. You are almost hesitant to look your own arm in the eye. You gained 2 mirrors, lost 25 terror, and our own sweet skin has the unflinching eye. We need to hire on more crew now, too, because we are fully out. Sensible sailors are looking for a safe run to the tomb colonies, or at least a sane run to the southern archipelago. You'll need to buy drinks, spread around hiring fees, look for daredevils. Your tall tales find a ready audience. Scarred and seasoned men and women tramp aboard and find places to sling hammocks. We gained 3 crew, lost a terror, lost 30 echoes, succeeded in a hearts challenge. Okay. That's still too few crew. Let's get some more. To 7. 7's fine, because we need to buy supplies still. Let's sell the Scintillac that we have. We are fighting our way back up. Stability. How many do we have right now? None. Perfect. Perfect, I mean horrific. Let's buy 6 for now. Can I sell that parabola? Yeah, the Wolf Stack Exchange. I have 5 of these. I could sell them for 60 each. Yeah, that seems like a worthwhile trade. I don't have any strong use for them right now, and I have a strong use for eating. Moving. And fuel, 8 supplies. Looking good. Our hold... about half full. Check with the merc first. That's a good point. Checked our lodging before. I don't need to upgrade our lodging right now. We don't plan to stay here long. Does the Alarming Scholar have anything new for us? No. Merchant Venturer. An urchin tugs at your sleeve. Governor wants a word. A brooding figure waits at the lamplight's edge. I have need of a reliable agent. Failing that, an inventive one. Here are my requirements. An opportunity for profit. He has very specific needs, but he'll pay much better than market rates. Don't ask how you came by these things. An occurrence. The adventurer has a request. Speak to him further or check your journal. Something spicy. He has made 2 requests. You can fulfill either one. Harvest and wither to the north along the coast. 700 echoes. Something perilous. They sell these in Palmerstone, somewhere in the north of the Untersea. 500 for 7 barrels of them. Find a better price. One of the things I learned last time that I need to do is start writing down these directions of these places, because they don't keep a clear thing for it. I know that the Z changes somewhat, but I'm still going to write some of these down because I think they stay relatively in the same kind of areas from what I have surmised based on what told me. So Wither is in the north along the coast. Wither, not Wither. And Mount Palmerston is somewhere in the north. No, the Khanate is somewhere in the east. Those are the ones that I remember hearing about right now. So, some things are always the same, but the rest is totally random. Yeah, as it stands right now, though, I think it's good for me to take notes, as the game doesn't do that for you particularly well, which is, I think, by design, and that's fine. But I think it will be helpful, rather than me sailing in circles repeatedly, to take a few notes. Okay, we've stabilized. We're looking okay. Things are looking up for Captain Pip here. At long last, I think, let's head back out into the waters. Finally, we can keep going. Yeah, I know that this is something that started as a fairly punishing, almost roguelike kind of game, and I imagine it still stays that way. I know they made changes to make it more, you're allowed to save and restore, but you have that Invictus medal, I think they called it, in your hold. It would be so good if they made a timeline menu, like an interactive timeline you could fill in. Yeah, I think that would be super cool. Sort of something like almost what was that game where you were doing like an investigation of a boat that fought a kraken, and it was all black and white. Obra Dinn, the Return of the Obra Dinn. All those sort of like detective-like games. I'm a huge fan of like how you can kind of create your own. Oh, geez. Recurring nightmares. You have begun to dream of a vast eye. It knows you. You cannot evade its gaze. Black, unsleeping taste. Again and again, you are alone on the wide black Z. The eye is aware. Your nightmare will come upon you from time to time, inspiring terror. Gain restful nights at your lodging to help you resist it. If you defeat it, you may gain a secret. I've begun to suffer nightmares of a vast eye. That's great. I think I tattooed that on my flesh. But they're being beset by pirates. Yeah, get 3 facts right and it confirms it. Yeah, I know that there's been a lot of games like that recently. My wife and I played one of those recently called No Case Left Unsolved, which we had a really good time with. And I know she's been playing through the Case of the Golden Idol, which also is a very nice little puzzling things together game like that. You've destroyed a pirate steam pinnace. Luton's. I need to look up how to pronounce that. I'm not good with boat titles. Luton scuttle her. She's a vile old vessel. These Z's aren't safe. Take what you can and move on. A bolt of fabric. Shake out a little and let it glimmer in the light. Gained a bale of parabola linen, which I just sold. The serpent place behind mirrors. We found some of these last time. Hinash. Thank you. Nash. I do very much appreciate that. A lot of the time you run into that trouble with the word that you've only ever read and never been able to say it out loud. But I'm a big fan of narrating things like these and reading them aloud, so I run into that problem a lot. Secrets. You can spend secrets to improve your abilities. I know I have a chunk of those. I should probably with them, but right now the only person I could talk to... Oh, Vendor Bite. That's where I need to sell the tomb colonist that I have. Nice oddity. Okay. The trouble with tomb colonists. You've brought this decaying emigrant north. Now what? Help out an immigrant. Your tomb colonist passenger yanks off her bandages. She looks remarkably healthy. Not as dead as I look, she confessed, and I won't get ashore without your help. The constables are looking for me back home. Is that a problem? Or I can drop her off the dock and give up with her. No, I'm absolutely... There's no situation in which I won't undermine a police officer, 100%. I will help out an immigrant. Muffled oars. You slip your furtive passenger past the skin check post and confirmation of consolation. Thanks, Captain, she remarks casually. Let me teach you a couple of tricks, just in case you do this again. And here's a little hush money. We have a Veils for a new total. So we got a permanent increase to our Veils. We got 200 Echoes. But we have gained a Menace in Suspicion. This will increase as you conduct criminal activities or have contacts with rough sorts. The higher your suspicion, the more fiercely the excise will search your ship. So if we have that, I guess we're more likely to get searched when we get home. Interesting. Okay, well. Tell you what mine did. I don't know how likely it would be that I would run into it again on a different person, but I would be curious to see. Or, to know. One of your tomb colonists takes an interest in your crew, specifically the clattery air. Let's find out what's going on with that. Voiceless. The tomb colonist draws you a little away from the clattery air. Don't tell her you met me, he says in a hoarse rasp. Her mother cut my voice. Hoped to fix it so I wouldn't be able to look for my daughter. So I wouldn't want to. He wheezes. Didn't work. Operations never completely effective. Need to know my daughter well. Happy finding enough patience, getting enough to eat, and so forth. In exchange for the simplest news, he explains himself. I'm her father, he says. Ordinary engineer. Not the sort of parent she would want. If you wish to tell the heir about this encounter, you can do so by speaking with him. I probably will. Better than my tomb colonist. My one punched me in the face and then died. Oh, that's really funny. So you just cracked the coffin open, they clocked you, and then fell down dead? That's beautiful. I love games like these. I love the little weird turns that you can have. That's fantastic. Okay. Let's gather a port report on Vendor Bite. Who's plotting what out in the tomb colonies? Along the coasts of the Untersee, it's remarkably hard to die. The decrepit and nearly dead who leave London become tomb colonists and settle here in bandaged peace. But they don't give up their ties to home or their politics. You gather a haul of complex clues, enough to keep your contacts in London interested. Yeah, they were like, I love fighting, forgetting he was a rotten corpse. One of the things I did pick up is, died is a strong word, more like turned to dust. Yeah, because that's one of the things about the tomb colonists, is they're usually people, from what I've gathered, who have died a lot and are just kind of starting to fall apart, which is why they are all wrapped up like mummies. So a lot of them are duelists because they've just spent so long and died so often. They just know how to fight because they have such an incredibly long history of knowing how to fight. Visit the first curator. Z Captains, the first curator gives audience. The first curator is responsible for the preservation of the tomb colonies. It has been here much longer than London, like all the oldest tomb colonists, but even tomb colonists dissolve in the end. Its time is close. No more light, the obsequious steward cautions you. The curator is terribly afraid of moths. He opens the door and you step into near darkness. A pair of luminous lamplighter bees buzz in the latticed ivory tube. There is no other source of light. A bandaged shape no larger than a child lies crumpled on a couch. It lifts its head with obvious effort. It takes several seconds before you distinguish its voice from the soft buzz of bees. Something to take note of in this game. What shops buy what? London gives the worst prices. Yeah, that makes sense. Sort of like the games like Freelancer or other sort of trading-based games where you can buy and sell in different places. I ended up selling all that parabola linen back in London just because I was so desperate to actually make it out of there with supplies and fuel. So I imagine actually parabola linen might sell quite well here, given that they are in high demand for linen and other various sorts of cloth. Listen to a whispered request. See, Captain, silk skin. Not much left of me. I will go. Grand Sanatorium. Bring me colors. 7 colors. Hey, well. 7 colors? Osmogon, Irigo, Peligan. Steward has list. Find them here and there. Across the wide black sea. Ask about the Grand Sanatorium. One hears the name whispered here and there in the arcades of Venderbite. A long, low chuckling. Oh, Silkskin, you don't want to know. The chuckling becomes a cough. We don't die here below. Not unless we go to Z. So we needed something else. Somewhere to end. I think I will accept the commission from this person. I will try to bring them colors, I suppose. Thank you. This poor flesh thirsts for colors. No more words. It collapses, rustling back to the couch. Even the effort of speaking seems to have diminished it a little. The audience is over. As the door opens, it shrinks from the finger of light that reaches across the floor. Outside, the obsequious steward nods. The book? Yes, the book. He hands you a slim, illustrated volume. The curator is old as dust. We will be grateful. We will all be grateful if you do it this one last favor. So I need to apparently collect Apocyan, Cosmogon, Gant, Irigo, Peligan, Violent, and Viric. All colored. Let's take a look. I suppose that's not in the journal. Is it in my hold? Yes. Apocyan, the blue memory and brightest coral. Sea lights Cosmogon, the color of remembered suns, the fecund, the fetid, the fungal. These flourish in the glow of Cosmogon. G is lost in Gant, which remains when all other colors are eaten. Gant can be found where the shadows are myriad. I is for Irigo. No one can remember why. Irigo colors the forgotten corners of home. P drowns in Peligan, the color of the deepest Z. Someone has scrawled in the margin. Beyond the gate, there is a sea more sunless. V marks violent, when blood is shed in a spired place. Violent ink is employed for the most desperate treaties. A place from the Neathbow Virik. Behind your mirror, V names Virik, the color of shallow sleep. A wakes Apocyan, the blue memory, and brightest good. Yes, okay. I did read that one. Return to the curator with each of the 7 impossible colors in hand. The book's pages give you clues, but you'll need to seek far ports. When blood is shed in a spired place. I wonder if that's the place that we went last time, Gator's Mourn, because it was a big spire and it had a lot of like that. It might be worth, if I'm in that area again, taking a look. I feel like I remember reading the word violent as well. That's what I say every time I get my hair done. This poor flesh seeks colors. The Charnel Lounge, I could sell that Tomb Colonist. Oh, they buy Foxfire Can. Oh, they don't buy Rabalin. Pity. Oh well. They really want a monstrous almanac for 1,000 echo. Alright, let's see if there's anything else we can do in Vendor Bite. We did visit the first curator. We have that commission from them. Let's explore Vendor Bite, use our Something Awaits Us. Here they favor candlelight over gaslight. The shadows are swagged like cobwebs. The tomb colonists stand still enough to be mistaken for sculpture until they laugh or cough. One building in 3 seems abandoned. The builders of this place worked with great slabs of neath-wall stone, carved with blank-eyed, unsmiling faces and blocky, stoic serpents. And search warily and take a tough mirrors challenge, 36%. Or I can use the supplies and take a picnic. We're doing okay right now. Let's risk the search. Ancient stones. You can just about interpret these glyphs. They speak of a god who lives in the roof, a waking dream of storm, a memory of rage. The god, the glyphs claim, destroyed this temple. I think that might be the god that also destroyed my goddamn ship earlier when one of my crew went absolutely insane and took 3 other people with them. He never misses, it's not fair. Listen, Pip's a professional. Somehow we made it back home. We'll replace 12 supplies with 12 tomb colonists. Might be a longish... No. We do not have a hold for that. Absolutely. We don't even have 12 supplies. Okay. In the interim. I could buy a yacht here. Vessel for diplomats and wealthy spies. Failed information. Ooh. I'm about 600 echoes short, but a nice yacht. It's probably a better price than anything I could get in London. Did I get a port report? I believe I did, yes. Yeah, I got my port report from here. Thank you. Oh, no, I wanted to talk to the Clattery Heir because I ran into her dad. You should know the truth. Oh, why is this locked? Locked with... Unlocked when learning... Oh, probably because I haven't spoken to her yet because I didn't want to spend the supplies. Let's do that here. Because I can apply to replace it immediately. Hello, Clattery Heir. Let us dine. Precise bite sizes. Does she wield a fork the way she wields surgical instrument? The cooked flesh arrives still in its shell. From the claws, 8 legs, body, and head, she renders a dozen neat, bite-sized piles of shredded flesh, sutured with mushrooms or pinned together with a needle of chitin. Perhaps she has missed Perhaps she has missed a calling as a chef. She denies it. My mother was the child of a surgeon in the first city. You might say that knife work runs in the family. There is a wicked, quirking smile at the corner of her mouth. Then there are rumors about my father. She would deny there's any truth in those. You are learning about the Clattery heir. You now are alerted to rumors about their parentage. Can I speak to her about her father yet? No, her father. She becomes more talkative when she has something to cut. Perhaps you can get her to say more about her father. Or now, finally, I can increase my hearts with her if I wanted to. Or I can increase my iron with the long shanks gun. How many secrets do I have? 5? Put 2 in each for now. Exchange. The best way to extract a secret is to offer one in turn. It's a straight trade. One of your best discoveries for one of hers. It's not hard to drive the bargain. She sits back after dinner and tells you this. Most people think that the hard part of a surgery is finding what's wrong and taking it out. But any fool could do that. A ship's cook with a cleaver can have that part of the job. The hard part is cutting so that you can sew it all back up again afterwards. And she demonstrates on a shark fin, leaving it in a better condition than it started. I like the Clattery heir. He seems very interesting and very threatening. That's the exact same thing. So, perfect. Our hearts has gone up by 2. We cannot talk to her about her father yet, but let's take a quick chat with our little Longshanks gunner. Increase your iron. I'll swap ya! The gunner ran with the regiment, the urchin gang who kept a cannon in a high clock tower. But the urchin gangs reject adults, and now she applies her skills at sea. And the way she stumbles over the story, she still misses them. Days with the regiment. Yeah, right. I just read that out loud. Okay. Still can't Romanche, the other gunner. Because I have nowhere near... I need like 70 iron, I think it was. 71. But... back to Z we go. Okay. Giant eye. Holes at 70. What do we get dinged by? Oh, right. We ran into pirates on the way here. Was where... yeah. Rumors. They write down... Adventurers. Ah, yes. Muter Salt or Devil Bone Dice. I can get those at Whither. Both of these are north. I'm looking for Whither or Mount Palmerston. There are bad out there. No islands within the range. Go through. I think so. Probably what those 2 lights are doing. Sail under the air. Seems cool. The air trembles, a breath of change passes. Who do you think gave you the extra butt cheeks? The rat remains safe. Myth, you missed a very harrowing journey back. Oh, a lifeberg. No, I don't want to fight a living iceberg. I would like to just dock here in Whither. You missed a very harrowing journey back. We ran out of supplies. We ran out of fuel, almost. We were down to 1 crew member. We sailed off the edge of the map to the north, and that was a tremendous mistake. But now we have made it to Whither, a chilly city beside a waste of salt. Behind the great arch over the bay, the pale wastes stretch, white and silent as the face of the moon. From here, you might almost imagine they were snow. North of the city, the salt pools fizz with unlikely color. We can explore the town. We can gather intelligence. Let's gather intelligence first. Always get the port first. The citizens of Whither enjoy questions. So much so that they always answer a question with another question. This can make intelligence gathering frustrating. Are you asking for any particular reason? At what time of day? Is that your hat? Might it be 6? It could be 6. Eventually, you cobble together enough implication and supposition to compose a report. Oh, this place sounds infuriating. Okay, Muter Salt. I need to buy them with Z stories? Oh, you operate on currency that I don't have. I could sell you my fuel for Z stories. That seems like not a good deal for right now. It's Stygian Ivory? Oh, wow, they have a lot of strange things here for currencies I don't have. C'est la vie. Alright, let's explore the town while we're here. Whitter is a quiet, chilly town of gray stone and closed courtyard. The people are neither exactly unfriendly nor exactly hospitable, but they have the irritating habit of answering a question with a question. Here and there are odd sights tucked away. A walk by the shore, the black Z whispers on the beach, the soft sound of its audible above the waves. A castaway. A woman in an iridescent green gown waves vaguely from a rock near the shore. Sorrowful sighs waft across the water towards you. An idiot castaway? A mermaid? Of course not. Mermaids are preposterous myth. We can approach or avoid. Obviously, we are going to go to the strange woman on the beach. There's no question. I need to find out what this is about. The poor woman won't answer your hails, but she's obviously in need of assistance. Approach. That's all for now. Okay, the serpent's lure. Oh dear. Oh, I've made a mistake. The serpent's lure. A fanged mouth rears from the water, big enough to bite a boat in half or swallow a pig. The woman contorts and slides into the water. She's the tip of a monster's tail. This will be untidy. Uh-oh. A high-risk challenge. I could fight it. I could pacify it. I don't have any food for that. Or I could run away. Run. I think we run. It is always preferable to fight Z serpents from inside a ship, not from inside a serpent. Withdraw as best you can. One time, no whammies. A narrow escape. Its neck is long, its teeth are sharp, but you make it safely inland. A Z serpent that masquerades as a lady. Well, it's a tale to tell. He don't miss. Pip don't miss. How could this have happened? Name one story where a beautiful woman and a sailor has ended badly. The game's being nice to me because I sailed up to hell. But not literal hell, because I think that's a different place. I think they call it the Iron Republic. I'm trying to go there in my Fallen London game. I think after that fun experience, let's take some shore leave in Whitter. I can spend 50 echoes. The folk of Whitter are quiet and sly and mystical. They subsist on cave fish and the dust-burrowing beasts of the waste. Their beer, however, is adequate. Keep a low profile. Your crew follow your example faithfully. One drinks a little too much pale Whittern beer and has to be fished from the harbor, but they spend a relatively decorous night gambling for salt and bone and return refreshed. Alright, we've lost some terror, we've lost some money, we've nearly been eaten by a sea serpent. We are doing okay. I'm gonna keep my Tales of Terror for now. We're still relatively well provisioned. I need Z stories to get the stuff from this guy to buy it, but I Don't have those. Thankfully, the Lifeberg seems to be gone. Oh, no, there it is. Let's steer clear of the Lifeberg. I don't think my dinky little boat is equipped to handle something of that magnitude at the moment. There's a place there called Codex. I can dock at it. Oh, that's an interesting little island. Any more? Is it just covered in writing? An Isle of Answers. The Isle of Codex. Codex, a desperate cave full of mute exiles and an inexplicable colony of shivering, bad-tempered monkeys. No one can speak to me. I cannot acquire a doomed monster hunter. And I can't do anything with the damp people, so let's just compile a port report. Oh, they sell normal fuel. I sure did, didn't I, Myth? Left where everybody only answers questions with questions in an isle where no one will talk that is full of answers. I want to see if I can figure out how to ram this island into Whithorn. Silently forthright. The exiles see many come, fewer leave. Some are even willing to communicate, but their gestures are unfamiliar, the meaning's unclear. Even when you can understand, these are answers without questions, as useless as a key without a lock. Okay. There's something special about monkeys, but can't remember. Yeah. We may find out at some point. I couldn't get a monkey for my ship, which is sad, but I suppose we needs must, and all that. Stuff off my lip. Other British things. But yeah, if I can get a big ship and move the island from one side to the other. Seems like it would be a handy thing. Lloyd's approach. Oh, I'm being attacked by a Lifeberg again, sort of. Let's go. Oh, it's faster than my boat. Oh, it's faster than my boat. Hey, what's that? Are you hostile as well, you other large drifting piece of rock? Or are you chill? You seem chill. If that island used to be part of a bigger one, but then broke off and the people lost all their answers. Yeah. What if? What the hell? Hey! It just... What just happened? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Shipwrecked. It was hostile. It was hostile. He was not chill. He never misses. Goodbye, Pip. Your ship founders. There are screams, a flood of dark water, the unforgettable sound of a ship's spine breaking. Sit beneath the waves. Perhaps you'll be remembered in song. No more. Sleep. Your memoirs, quality of lodgings, quality is gone. Your first captain has died. Don't worry. These things happen. Explore boldly with your next captain. Choose a legacy, something to preserve for your next captain. Well. Ooh, okay, so we get to decide who... Okay, that's cool. In memoriam. Pip died January 2nd, 1888. You can see qualities online. If we upgraded our lodgings and purchased a will, we could store things. If we had a child, we could give them things. Go north. I did. It was bad. Raise the anarchist to prominence. Good. Rise high and go east. Carry a lost sister to her homeland. Manual of Miracles. One forgotten. Find one forgotten. Hold her ladyship. Alright, were we Pips? Rival, pupil, salvager, shipmate, or correspondent. If we're their rival, we retain 50% of their iron value and 1 weapon. If we are a pupil, we retain 50% of their mirrors and half their money. If we are a salvager, veils and half their money. Or a shipmate, arts and an officer. Correspondent is 50 pages in their chart. I think rival. The reason I don't want to pick rival is because we didn't have any weapons, so we won't really inherit anything. My thought is we do salvager because Pip had a bunch of veils. You missed the name because it didn't lock on. Let me see. Yeah, what was that thing called that murdered me? I think we do salvager. We get half the money because we had a few hundred echoes. And we had a nice chunk of veils. So that'll start us with 133 echoes. Oh, we get 1 veil out of that. Mount Nomad. Well, does what it says on the tin, I suppose. Yep. Okay. If I do rival, yeah, I could inherit the just default gun that was built into the deck, it looks like. I could inherit the comatose. Oh, I could keep our horrible little mushroom. I could keep the clattery error. I think keeping the money is going to be better. Let's keep our money. Let's keep the money. Sure you want to accept this legacy? No, but let's give it a shot. We dug up that ship. Okay, let's choose a past for our new friend here. We did a street urchin. A poet, a veteran of the campaign of 68, a priest, philosopher. Let's go, I think, this time with a weird priest. Anger that has the call of any creature in the game. Amazing! Well, I'm glad I ran into, I guess, just death. Simply death. We have replaced our young boy with an old man, I think. This ordained priest who fell from grace. There is nothing left ashore for you. An anonymous benefactor has found a way out for you. Perhaps at Z, you can overcome your appetite. You know an engineer who doesn't have much time left. She'd like to die at Z. Talk to her to find out if she'd like to die anywhere in particular. You have one gall-eyed engineer. Someone is looking for passage. Yeah, he's so sad he didn't become the new pope. He just wants to bail. But what does he want to do? Does he want to find immortality like Pip? Does he want to find fulfillment? Does he want to find wealth? I think let's keep chasing immortality. I think we keep chasing immortality until we get there with someone. At least for the time being. Yeah, the edge of the world couldn't get me, so they sent an entire mountain to kick my ass. They won. All right. How are we addressed in this case? Obviously, Captain. Captain does perfectly well ashore at sea. It is simply always Captain. Wouldn't do immortality since the DLC ending in the hardest. Why not? It just seems fun. Maybe we'll pivot at some point. Maybe not, but I I like the idea of carrying on a damned journey. I'm not doing this to win, per se, so much as I'm doing it to explore an interesting narrative, to explore a lovely journey in the horrific sea beneath. Alright, in this case, let's see, what profile do we want for this wretched priest? Are there any that come with a collar? The bald guy is probably the closest one. Yeah, this bald guy. Oh, I think if I name myself Father something, I will be addressed Captain Father. Which is pretty entertaining. My name is Fel. Oh, of course. The cardinal that didn't get the nomination to Pope that I desperately wanted. We are Captain, not Feather, Father Pizzaballa. Instead of Father, consider Daddy. No, I shan't. I simply shan't. All right. So first of all, we can sell our advice for captains to get an extra $50. I know how to sail. I proved it by dying. We have 10 fuel, 5 supplies. Supplies are cheapest here. I don't think we necessarily need to get started on the immortality thing that we got from here. There was... I purchased the wine last time. Yes, it was down here. A cask of mushroom wine. We'll do that. We will get started on our Death Has No More Dominion. We had this conversation last time, so I'm not going to read it again. We are hunting for the Isle of Cats. However, it does appear that we have an opportunity to access the Labyrinth of Tigers here in London. Well, no we don't. But Karma Chimera, welcome back. The Labyrinth of... We just met our first end, unfortunately, running into Mount Nomad, apparently, who made very quick work of our ship. Yes, we died very badly. The Labyrinth of Tigers is open under the patronage of the London Zoological Society to cautious visitors for educational purposes. Here you may see the devil apes of Far Mandalay, the thing in the mirror, the Cantigaster's children, the gargantuan cave snake, the inhabiter of wolves, the hybrid fiend, NB. The management recommends that you arrange your exit well before closing time. This time we took the disgraced priest. We salvaged the ship of our... we salvaged the ship of Pip. The Pip ship. And have just made it back to London with our new captain. You came in right as we were about to probably get out of here. But first, a passenger, someone in the docks wants to board your ship. Agree to carry the unsettled salvager to Vendorbite. We were there last time earlier. I don't think we still have our commission from the first curator anymore. That was Pip's. Ooh, we can rename the ship. The Pip's Folly. In memoriam to our very dead little urchin. To the passenger. Welcome aboard. I'd kiss you, Captain, but my beloved is prone to jealousy. We were parted, but the ancient captains at Venderbite will know where she is. Bound for Venderbite, welcome. Our lodgings. Read the expurgated morning papers. We got recent news from that. The Echo Bazaar, that enigmatic marketplace, has increased its tax on love stories. The traitor Empress has forbidden singing in the streets outside her palace. The anarchists of the Calendar Council have inexplicably dynamited a drinking fountain. The Ministry of Public Decency has located and destroyed a nest of gallblighter wasps. We have some lovely news. We can go back to the rest of the city. We have nothing else going on. We'll give a quick chat to our chief engineer before we get out of here. Strike out into the sea. What I wanted to check... Interesting. Okay, so that yacht that we were able to purchase in Venderbite is unique to Venderbite, or at least to that Venderbite. Whether or not that changes when everything resets as well, I'm not certain. The salvage of the royal over that lets you retain the weapon. No, it's the one that lets you retain half your money and your vehicles. I didn't take a weapon because I never upgraded my ship before we died, so I felt like it was probably just going to give me the default weapon again. So I never got an opportunity to make the ship any better before I died. Speak to the Gallite engineer. You're so beautiful, she tells you dreamily. There are briars in your mouth. Her left eye pulses slowly. It's always difficult to know what she's actually seeing. What does she want? Why has she come to Z in this state? My eyes will hatch soon. The gallblighter wasp, you know it. Its children are in me. She smiles. I can't be sorry. I can see such things. She tails off, hungrily watching your face. What is she seeing? King Eater's castle, she says. At last, rather breathily. Her hand goes up to her throat. I would like to see King Eater's castle through these eyes before I go. King Eater's castle can be found in the far southeast of the Undersea. You don't like that she has wasps behind her eyes, Myth? Writing down King Eater's castle. Bar. S-E. Perfect. I think it's great. I think that she is a lovely, nurturing force for these beautiful moths. I think these beautiful wasps. I think that she's doing them a favor by heading out to see whatever King Eater's castle is before they hatch. Let's grab another couple of supplies. Another few. Just after the horrible shit that happened last time. Then, off into the sea we go. Right, we have no chart now. A lot of things have changed. The stuff that was right next to London may not have changed particularly deeply. Oh, the Island of Cats is, cool cats, yeah. Just, nothing but... those rocks. I remember these things being here. This was the ship that wanted to use beginner's luck on your captain. I don't know what that is, so, no. Every new captain, though. Something that's in my hold? Or, let's see. The Gazette, the hold. Nope. figure it out at some point, or not. Mutton Island, last time we were here. Nothing had really changed. Horn, pressing the H key will blow the horn. This has no useful function and may provoke nearby sea beasts. If you ever need an extra turn of speed, clicking the full pyro icon will add another barrel of fuel to the engine. This is occasionally hazardous. That was why it gave me the warning that your ship might explode. Taking a quick spot. Waker's Haven. This time, I want to pick up a wretched Mog. Last time we had to leave this cat hungry because I wanted to save my supplies, but this time, I want this cat. A yellow-eyed, mangy, piebald thing winds around your ankles like a manacle chain. You've never seen a cat's mouth open that wide. Presumably it's hungry. This is a mascot, one variety of officer. What's that smell? It jumps down from your arm and disappears into the darkness of the ship. An hour later, 5 brutally executed rats are found on the foredeck. Point your new mascot by dragging him from the officers tab. Ba-dum-bump. Oh, yeah. Its perpetual ill temper does not endear it to the crew, but it does make it an effective ratter. Booga Booga, thank you for the follow. Beginner's Luck is a once-per-captain positive event. You can put off using it when you see opportunities in the hopes of holding out for a better one. Get a Beginner's Luck token for the Curiosities section of the hold after you've taken one lucky event. Lurk later. See you later, Uga. Thanks again for dropping by. I really appreciate it. Okay. You've taken your... I see. Okay, so I haven't run into a lucky event at any point. Buy supplies from a dockside stall. 30 echoes. Perfect. Gained a supplies. Need some back. Buy some fuel. No, we're good on fuel for now. Perfect. Good. Excellent. We have a lovely cat. Let's get on out of here from this little backwater. And continue heading southeast. The only real bearing we have right now is the Gull-Eyed Engineer. And I don't remember if we got a mission from anyone before I left. I don't think so. Objective. I think I forgot to check out all of London before I bailed. We have a really, really whack crew here with this creepy woman, a horrible cat, and my father pizza ball. I still can't tell whether or not the bat costs anything to use. I was playing a little bit of Sunless Skies the other day, and the bat there... Yeah, Captain Father Pizza Ball. Sorry, I forgot his full title. Salt Lions. Zeal Port. Is this just a huge ship? Or is this a actual... Salt Lions. There is a vast sorrow in their... There is a vast sorrow in their empty eyes. But what a chore it is to reread story sections and manual saving because of course you learn mistakes, lose out on rollover bonuses, and you never learn about mechanics like beginner's luck, play out across many captains. Oh yeah, I understand. The sort of its intention does seem to be a lineage thing, but I know that a lot of people were sort of upset with the difficulty spike that a lot of this happens and a lot of the kind of repetition of it. I know that's one of the things that I'm worried about running into with this game down the line, in running into just a bunch of story scenes that we've already read and already seen before. But by that point, I will have considered the game probably, hopefully, near completed is ideally the goal for that. But we'll see how it goes as time goes on. Hopefully, as time goes on and we continue to explore these things, I'll have more interesting things to talk about while we're sailing around seeing the same things that we've already seen. There is a vast sorrow in the empty eyes of the two salt lions, two basalt beasts, cathedral-sized. They frown eternally at each other across the black waves. The north one carries an encampment. Creeping human figures eat away at its features like rot, picking. There's a supply dock down below. We could visit the Unmakers. Muscular pick wielders rest on camp stools, watching you approach, passing hip flasks around. An unctuous overseer beckons you to sit. Fungal tissue and tea cakes. We get funding from the bazaar, it's true, but Station 4? I wouldn't call us Station 4. It's a little grandiose. The stones are stuffed with secrets, but most of them are used as a garden statuary or occult ballast. Most of them. Some go down to the places under the bazaar. More tea cakes? Let's compile a port report, finally. 200. Yeah, not have option to carry Sphinx Stone to London, but record the activities of the Unmakers such that they are Rite of Stone and Silence. These things are cool. I don't think there's anything else I can do here, but the salt lions are very cool. Two giant sphinxes that you're slowly chipping away at. That continues to find nothing. It seemed to suggest that there wasn't a port on the other lion, so it doesn't look like it. They've only started eating the North Lion. I hope we find Station 3 again. That place was creepy as hell, and I got a lot of money for not talking about it. Big island of some kind over here. And the kind appears to be empty. Oh, that's Crab Cake! I remember Crab Cake. That's way further southeast than it used to be. Crab Cake has moved. Ooh. Let's handle this Jilly Fluor. Get away from me. Get away from the back of my ship. You're way more maneuverable than the last one that I fought. The last one of you I fought just sat there. Oh. Hurting me quite a bit. One more good shot. Oh no, come on. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Definitely took another 8 damage because that one didn't finish it. Oof. Okay. We could use the supplies. Let's, oh no, this is a strained catch this time. This is a spreading stain. It's gone. You are left with gooey gloves and a buttery smell. And this purple thing. Is it an egg? A heart? The less fortunate traveler dissolved and shriveled to a mauve ruin? Put it somewhere safe. You now have one strange catch. I think Sunless Sea's biggest weakness is its failure to 100% commit to permadeath with meta progression. The devs saw that dying was super frustrating, so they put in the manual save feature, but what they should have done was rebalance the game as a whole and improve the way the mechanics are conveyed. The game doesn't even save slot for Invictus. Yeah, that it definitely has some signs of age that I'm not seeing on my solo playthrough of Sunless Skies. They definitely seem to have learned some stuff from Sunless Skies. I also just noticed something about the Jilly Fluor is the fact that it has a face in it. Right here. A horrible little face. Mm-mm. But we have a strange catch, and that was something that I was capable of using in a few other places that I saw last time. No problem, Myth. happy to... Oh, Pigmont Island! Ooh, what's happened since the last time we were here? Thank you. Alright, let's see how Pigmont Island's doing. We have a new person. Discovered Saints Haven. I don't recall if it had that name the last time that I was here. It might have. Two houses, both alike in dignity, on a lonely desert beach. There's no habitation in sight, no market, only an old, rotting dock. A stretch of sand thickens into damp black earth from which sprout stunted palms. Oh, all stories will have reset for the new captain, that's a shame. Disembark, see what awaits you. We've seen this, the tale of Pigmont Isle, in which a delegation is made, a choice is presented, war is declared, and a most singular treasure sought by all. So this remains the same as it was. We're gonna take a quick chat with all of the folks that we did last time, and then figure out what we're going to do with Pigmont Isle here. Let's, in this case, I think, favor the Seneschal. I think our wretched priest here wants to is a fondness for the London's ratskin coats. Rats are filthy little beasts. Guinea pigs are noble, and it is her charm that speaks to us. I favor the Seneschal. Was it her charm, or a fondness for London's ratskin coats that swayed me? Perhaps a little of both. At any rate, I was keen to find out more about their civilization. A friend to the cavies, I bowed to the Seneschal, who purred with pleasure while the chief engineer gnashed his teeth but kept his distance. You have chosen wisely, Captain, said the Seneschal. Come, and I will explain our situation to you in greater detail. We gain fuel and supplies, and memoirs, a night out of habit. So this will be new. Oh, I very much love the portrait of the guinea. I didn't get to see the big one the last time that we were here. Oh, that's excellent. A night out of habit. The Seneschal led me to the southern side of the island, skirting the chicken woods. We passed through a number of raised mounds of earth mixed with fortifying strips of mushroom flesh, which I supposed to be makeshift walls. The settlement was dazzling. This side of the island appeared to be absolutely wreathed in scintillac. The cavies' dwelling was awash with silver phosphorescence. It was a large colony. Most noticeable was the steam pinache, the impossible lamb, that had run aground from which the cavies came and went, bearing supplies. To the right of the ship, further down the beach, a large group of cavies lay on bundles of colorful cloth, whining and wailing as if in pain. To the left of the ship was a ramshackle tent of poles and linen, in front of which guinea pigs clashed against each other and sharpened their teeth. In the center of the village was a covered dais, veritably festooned with colorful cloth and guarded by well-decorated knights. I suspected this was where King Graysnaw kept counsel. Be welcome, Captain, in the kingdom of Cavia, capital of our isle, and blessed by the light of Our Lady's eye, the Seneschal spoke solemnly, but with a hint of sadness to her words. For so it was, and shall be again. I must speak with our king and prepare your arrival. My page will show you the area and bring you in sight of his splendor in good time. Page! A much smaller guinea pig, its fur braided with a slender strip of parabola linen, scurried over and bowed. The Seneschal took her leave. I visited the hospital. Were those guinea pigs quarantined? The Black Death. An elderly-looking cavie greeted me, eyeing me gravely. Many of us sickened during the voyage, a rotting in our teeth, a weakness in the flesh. This isle was our salvation. The stronger among us made a pilgrimage toward the pool of Our Lady's light, and then, miracle of miracles, they were cured. They bathed in her, they drank her sweet waters, and the strong brought the weak to her in turn. Soon we were thriving again, bearing our children and raising them to love Our Lady's eye and see it in our deliverance. And see in it our deliverance. The elder looked sorrowful at the sick under his care. Since the rats stole her, sickness has returned. All this light is but a mockery of hers, and we gain from it no benefit. The only thing The elder's ears and voice flattened in a hiss. Helps our condition is the flesh, the very hearts and livers of rats who stole her from us. I visited the steam panache on the beach. Was this indeed the impossible lamb? Wasn't it reported overrun by rats? A chalky shore. The page chittered while I inspected the vessel. Rats! Never! The splendor of Cavia overtook this vessel. I was born here, the first native of Cavia. But all our elders remember the voyage. It was hard, they say, but we were harder. But the sea is black and unkind. We were lost in the dark for weeks, and no one speaks of those terrible times. But out of the darkness came the light of Our Lady's eye, guiding us here to our own isle. In time we will ride the waves again, perhaps, once we have recovered our eye. Is it not splendid? It certainly may have been at one time, but I could see the hull had been severely damaged by the Scintillac reef. There was no way the cavies could hope to repair it themselves. Whatever the page said, they were stranded here. I visited the barracks. What chance could guinea pigs stand against the weaponized might of the Rattus Faber? Evening the odds. The page led me to the barracks where the knights didn't deign to speak to one so undecorated as I. The page, however, was eager to answer my question. The rats have no weapons, none to speak of. What is a gun without a bullet, a sword without a blade? Ours are the supplies, the knives, the soft stuffs, and the glory. Their teeth are sharp, it is true, while ours... The page hesitated as the knights glowered at him. Are sharper. All praise to the flowers of the house of Cavy. One knight preened while another grunted in indifference, working a whetstone along its top front teeth. As I watched, a particularly vigorous swipe knocked a hole incisor out of place, and it landed on the ground in a black and bloody mess. The knight grasped the tooth, and vanished from sight. Another glared in a way that dared me to make something of it. I see what you're saying now with thinking that it's pretty clearly scurvy. I know that that's a big symptom of scurvy as well. I had seen enough. It was time for my audience with the king. The page led me, crouching at first, and then on my knees before King Graysnaw and the Seneschal. The king was the largest guinea pig I had ever seen, easily twice the size of the largest knights in his retinue. The Seneschal looked positively dainty next to him. We are told, intoned the king, that you have promised your assistance to the house of Cavy. This is agreeable to us. But what form shall your assistance take? I offered to retrieve the lady's eye by force. I had guns, I had a boat. I planned to row a raiding party to the north side of the island where the cavies could flank the rat settlement. Or I planned to steal the eye with cunning. One should not even use shadows to catch a light. The rats would not even know we'd been there, probably. I'm not good at either of these. We have about the same, slightly worse than a coin flip for both. You know, I think in this case, let's take the eye by force. A perfect pincer. My plan succeeded brilliantly. He never misses. My plan succeeded brilliantly. It was easy enough to sneak up on the settlement when the stolen eye gave off such light and cast shadows around the shore. Even easier to do what needed to be done when the cavies were rallied by the sight of treasure. What follows was a tremendous rout. Rats ripped apart, throats and bellies torn open, viscera slickening the sand. The cavies took losses too, but soon the Seneschal declared the day was won. I was rewarded with a substantial amount of Scintillac. I saw to my surprise that the cavies had spared a number of the rats' children, and were rounding them up. I commented favorably on this, praising the Seneschal's high-minded mercy. The Seneschal chittered pleasantly. My dear Captain, be assured that we shall treat them very well. But it is hardly mercy that motivates the preservation of an enemy's livestock. The small rat wept quietly over a parent's severed torso before being prodded and pressed onto a march. Are we the baddies? Hail Cavia! I could invite one of the caves to join us. They were reputed to be excellent swimmers, adorable enough to boost morale. Spoke up on behalf of the rats. Let's try to advocate mercy in the same way that we did last time, but from the other direction this time. The survivors were being treated poorly, but the rift did not seem entirely insurmountable. The spoils of war. I appealed to House Cavy's grace and good breeding, and praised King Gracemaw's magnanimity. Perhaps the rats knew not what they did in stealing the eye. Perhaps they were only stumbling about in the dark for a light, as the Cavies were themselves while lost at sea. The Seneschal and the king exchanged a look. The Seneschal murmured something in the king's ear, and he growled deep in its throat.
You only saw the front tip of our suffering, Captain. The rats must answer for every drop of noble blood spilt, and in kind. We will require a great many hearts and livers to repair the health of our kingdom. Our young shall eat their old as is meet.
The king's courtiers chittered appreciatively at his wordplay, while the knights separated the screaming young rats from the adults who had given up trying to fight. You could not forge peace between rats and cavies. I think the cavies might be the bad guys. I'll invite one of them to join us, though. Why not? It's probably going to be a mascot, and I don't think I'll replace my wretched Mog, but I don't see why having a cavie on the ship might be a bad idea. They were reputed to be excellent swimmers, adorable enough to boost morale, and if time should become lean, I thought a guinea pig stew might buy the crew one day or two before they started eating each other. Welcome aboard. The Seneschal, of course, couldn't abandon her duties, but she made certain my request wasn't cried out in the village square. The page squeaked excitedly, and sought permission from her to join my party. I will record your doings for the glory of Cavie, he declared, and I'd like to see more of the world. I waited for him to gather up some of his effects and say goodbye to his family before lifting anchor and setting off. I have a guinea page. The wide Z beckons. The end. There. You finished your diary entry and the final morsels of delicious rat flesh. The cavies line up to salute as you leave the victory banquet, escorting you to your ship through the foundations of their new kingdom. That's all for now. Well, a scholarly creature from a warlike nation of aristocratic guinea pigs whose progenitors stole a steamer to escape the locked hutches of a London essayist. Apparently. Well, with that alternate telling of Pigmoat Isle, we hit 5 o'clock, which is the end of our stream. I want to thank you all again for coming. We lost our first captain today. Rest in peace, Pip. If you want to come back and see more of this, I plan to pick up Sunless Sea next week, Wednesday and Thursday again at the same time. Karma Chimera, thank you so much for the follow. I really do appreciate it. And with that, I want to wish you all a good rest of your evening, and hope to see you all next week as we continue the adventures of Captain Father Pizza Ball.